I have an idea. You know the game Destiny?
Yeah, I do.
Let's do what they're fucking doing.
Yeah. Oh my. Yes.
Let's do it.
Let's do it right now.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Your ghost will guide you. I only hope he chose wisely.
That's what we want.
It's perfect.
Hey, check this out.
TF68.
Usually you need some time to know if you can count on someone. Well, we're out of time. My bet's on you. It has to be. I hope to God I'm right.
We can work with this.
All right.
What's up, guys? It is Zamics. So, we are here with another video, and this time I'm going to be talking about Division Beta and my thoughts about that game. And this time we're doing it with a cool new setup, which includes a camera. We've never had that before, so that's cool. So, I have some worries about Division. As you can see here, I'm comparing it to Destiny, and there's some reasons behind that. One, that little clip you guys just saw, which was cleverly edited, I might say. So we got that, and then also you might notice that the level cap for the Division Beta gameplay, or for just the Division Beta, is only up to level 8, and the Destiny Beta was also up to level 8, and then similarly you got the 30 level cap for the full game for both games. So, seeing similarities here, keep you guys' eyes out during the video. So, before I get into all the problems though, I do want to discuss some of the good things about the game, because it has a lot of good things. It's just like Destiny, you got all this potential. So let's see what the potential is, because frankly this is a beta, it's showing its potential. So first off, I want to talk about the environment, which is pretty neat this time around. You're seeing this post-apocalyptic environment that is just amazing looking. I got the PS4 here as usual, so it's not got the PC like ultra settings, but it still looks great, albeit some slight differences between the original like E3 demo and what we have now. But otherwise, it is still just fine. We're seeing great gameplay. You see this clip here with the snow and the roads. It's just phenomenal looking so far. Another thing they definitely have got down is the ambiance in this game. They got the snow like falling everywhere, and then every once in a while you'll come across these cool things. I came across this dog at one point. I was like, I'm gonna pet you. What is it, puppy? What is it? And that was kind of fun. And then there was another part, I came across this radio, and it was just playing in the background. I never would have expected that there'd be this radio in this game, but it's cool that they include these small little things that usually you don't notice unless you're like me, in which case you're going out to find these small little things.
I'll tell you what, New York. Let's get dark. The dark zone.
Fast travel with your teammates?
19th century maps of the British Empire.
That's awesome.
The ones where the interior of the second biggest continent on the planet just said first-hand knowledge of what the fuck is going on in the dark zone. You let me know. As for the rest of you, welcome to the jungle.
I like this guy. I always like radio stations. And it was very rewarding to see these neat little kind of things you'd find in this game. Speaking of keeping the ambience, another thing that they kept from the E3 demo but changed it a little bit is the heads-up display, which looks phenomenal. Like, all games from now on need a heads-up display that looks equal to this, because this thing looks great. You got lines everywhere, you just see, like, you go up to a road, and you see the road's name just appear, or not the road, the section. You got the section name just highlighted in front of you. When you go up to a billboard, you got like this little, all the points of data start going to your little like circle, green, your orange circle. Like, they have all this cool heads-up display stuff, and it's great looking, and hats off. The Division so far also has pretty great gun customization options, because if you look at Destiny, they had gun customization options, but it was really weird to like upgrade your stuff, and it felt like it wasn't a polished system. Whereas now we have gun modification that you find on the ground or on dead bodies, and these gun modifications you can apply to any of your guns rather than gun-centric. You unlocking stuff for that gun, you now have gun mods you can attach to any of them, which is kind of a realistic thing to do, and I think it's really cool. And you got some interesting looking modifications, albeit not super realistic looking modifications, but they still, it's really nice system. You got a lot of modifications. You got your muzzle brake, your mag, your grip, your optics, and then I'm sure there's some I'm forgetting. Also, along the lines of guns, you also have the ambidextrous system, so you can now swap sides with the gun, which is super nice because as an airsofter, I personally do that. I am an ambidextrous shooter, so I can swap sides when I'm poking corners. So now that we have that in the actual game, it's pretty cool, and it's done easily by tapping the right stick, at least on a PS4 controller. Another thing that they do get right is the mission incentive. Whereas Destiny, if you redid a mission, you kind of got experience points, but there wasn't really a big purpose to doing that. Now, when you are playing with a friend and you want to go back and do a mission, you get that loot gear that you don't get experience points, which is a shame, and I hope they change that. But you do get loot gear that is equivalent to your level, even though you're doing a past mission meant for a lower level, which is really nice. So, as much as there's all these good things, I'm afraid I have to get down to the dirty stuff. So first, we're just going to cover stuff that you find with the beta, bugs, glitches, and the like. So first off, we do have this weird language thing that I encountered at the very start of the game. I created an account, or rather a character, and the language turned itself into the French language. So I went back and checked, and I didn't select French as my language. I selected English. But nonetheless, when I started the game up, and once I got past the first cutscene, suddenly everything was in French. So I had to delete that character and restart it, and then I was finally able to get it in English. And that's a weird thing, and obviously they need to fix that. Another thing that I found was when I came across this one, there was a phone call going on between your best buddy, who has not that great a voice acting, by the way. She's like, something Ray, I think. She's like your best bud in the game, even though she kind of is like, I don't know if I trust you at the beginning of the game, but she's the best friend you have. So she wants you to rescue this friend of hers, and they're on this phone call, and I could hear her friend who I was going to rescue. And I could hear her friend like she was in the room right next to me.
Active echo beacon detected.
Thank God. You had me so goddamn worried. Where are you? Are you safe?
I kind of forgot the radio back at the apartment. But I'm okay.
But she wasn't in the room, and it was very off-putting. So I think they just, like, the effect that would make her sound like she's coming through a phone call wasn't applying itself to her audio, is what I suspect that was. We'll see if that gets fixed in the final game. Now, there are some times where I had difficulty interacting with stuff. One part was the loot. I was trying to pick up this one loot, and it wasn't hopping into my inventory. I don't quite understand what was going on there. No, my loot bag isn't full. It might be, like, medical supply. Well, no, it's not medical. I don't know what it is. There's like a couple places. I don't know what's up with this. Last but not least, there was this very game-breaking glitch. I had to actually restart the game to fix this. I encountered this part where the whole... because when you get to a certain point in health, your screen turns all red, everything gets red, and the thing was, I healed myself, and it was still red, and that just continued, and no matter how many times I healed myself, my screen was all red. It was very distracting, so I ended up having to, I tried like backing out of the game, going back into the game. Turns out the only fix was actually close the game down and restart up the game. I didn't have to turn off my system, but restarting the game fixed that. Again, they should fix that by the time the game gets released. Another thing that I find interesting is they want you to explore to a certain extent, where you go out and find little items that are scattered around the place. However, it's not as in-depth of an exploration as I would like, because whenever you're exploring, the things you need to be concerned about are always on your mini-map. So you don't feel the need to like, oh, I should check that room because there might be stuff in there. You'll look at the map and go, oh, there's nothing in that room because the mini-map says so, I'm not even going to go in there. And there's, beyond that, beyond loot, no incentive to go into those extra rooms and just check out the place, which you would find in most other games, which is really disappointing. Another thing that we saw in the E3 demo that has changed since this game has occurred is we no longer see the background when we're looking at the map. Whereas in the E3 demo, we have this really cool system where you see the map overlaid on what's around you, which was super nice. And then you also had a part where you looked at the watch and the menu would scroll around. Now it's just like a Borderlands-esque menu, but I'm not too concerned about because it works in this context anyway. But yeah, the map's really disappointing now when you look at it. It instead like the map just turns everything else around it into dark blue, which is, come on, I would have liked it. I thought it was really cool looking prior to that. So, now to get into comparing it to Destiny, as I heard you to listen for. So, if we remember when Destiny first came out, there was a major issue in that there was so much content missing. Like, so much content missing. It was super disappointing. You had the moments where the one lady was like, what did she say? I don't have time to tell you, or I don't have time to tell you why I don't have time to tell you. I was like, oh my god, are you kidding me? And it was like that, like constantly throughout the game. It was like an embodiment of that sentence. So in this game, it's very similar. You have this same kind of structure where you have your hub system, social place, you go out into other places, and you come across random players in these certain areas. It's very much like we saw in Destiny. And unfortunately, it doesn't end there. We also see what seems to be really short missions and very repetitive missions. You got the one campaign mission we saw in the beta was not that great, and I don't think it's the first one. And it's not very clear. It might be the first. If it is the first one, God forbid it should be the first one, because it was horrible. The lady talking was not that believable, and then it just kind of throws you into the main base, doesn't explain anything, and you're out to explore and do whatever and trying to figure out what the heck you're supposed to be doing. Albeit they give you like this one objective. Technically they tell you what to do, just go that way. But they have all this stuff around you that you want to interact with, but it doesn't tell you how to do that with. And then you have the side missions, which are basically the same thing as Destiny. It's either like wave fighting, where you're supposed to guard this one guy, but really you don't care about him at all, and you just end up killing a lot of guys, and it's less a protective mission and more kill lots of people mission. And then you have your your fetch missions. Either it's just a little bit tweaked, so it's different than Destiny, where you go first deactivate these two things in a given amount of time, and then you run up and kill some more guys before you select another button, and that just repeats those. And then there's like one other I'm sure I'm forgetting. Yeah, there's like these encounter missions as well, but they're not that different beyond just different placement of these missions. It's not that different, and frankly the places don't look too different. It's all buildings. It doesn't change that much. At first I thought the map was really small. Just looking at the map, it looks like it's going to be really small, but then when you actually walk from one part of the map to the other side, it takes forever. So clearly the map must be quite a bit bigger than you think it is when you're looking at it from a bird's eye view. Now, that's just the campaign side. There was this other section that takes up a decent size of the map. It's almost like 1/3 to a half of this of the map. It's called the Dark Zone. It's this PvP-like area that is very much like DayZ, where you are either able to just fight other people and take all their stuff, or you can go about and get your own stuff from not other people and do it through just like killing enemies or finding loot in certain gallery areas. I forget exactly what they're called. The issue was it had a horrible system for the PvP. In this PvP arena, you had people that were neutral, and if you shot one of these neutral people to take their stuff, then it would count you as a rogue, and then this timer would appear over your head with a rogue symbol, and it'd be like 180 seconds, and anyone can kill you. Once you are rogue, anyone can kill you without themselves becoming rogue. Which means that there's all these rogue guys who go around killing people. Issue was, so I'd be at this one base, you need to extract your stuff in order to actually keep it in the long term. And when you're going to extract stuff, rogue agents will come over to your extraction point, because everyone on the map can see when you're extracting stuff. They'll come over, kill you off, take all your stuff, and then when you have to respawn all the way back at base, and then you finally make it all the way back so you can get your stuff back, they're no longer rogue. They're just friendly agents, even though you see their name and you're like, this guy killed me and he has my stuff. But you can't kill them, because if you kill them, you go rogue, and suddenly everyone on the map's trying to hunt you down, because you can see rogue players from an incredibly far distance. So that needs to be reworked so that you can get revenge, so it's not quite so unfair for people that are getting their stuff stolen, and the whole system just needs rethinking, I think. So obviously this is a beta. We don't really know what's going to be in the full game, But there are some things to be learned here. First off, don't pre-order this game. I already tell you guys in like every video not to pre-order games, but I'm being very particular right now. Don't pre-order this game. You got a lot of things that are kind of hit and miss. Campaign missions, hit and miss. This Dark Zone thing just totally needs reworking, I think. It's like DayZ, but not quite, and this is almost a worse version of DayZ, just with smoother gameplay. So it's not quite there. You got all these bugs that need fixing, but that's regular beta stuff. We'll see what happens when the full game comes out. This is just my impressions of the beta gameplay so far, and what kind of a taste this gives us of the game. That was it for today, guys. Be sure to check out the last video down in the description if you want to check out more of this kind of content. Leave a thumbs up if you like this kind of content so more people can see it. Be sure to support me on Patreon if you like early access and just want better overall quality and more games. Check me out on Twitter and Facebook if you want latest updates for this channel. Hope you guys have a good one. That's it.
Star Wars, I just kind of watched all of them, and I enjoyed and loved all of them. I liked the prequels as much as I loved the original trilogy, believe it or not.